Projects like the yellow first down line turn out to be incredibly diverse. There's critical elements that range from the creative challenge, meaning figuring out what's important in sport, figuring out how to tell the story. There's obviously the technical challenge. There's the business challenge, how to pay for it. And then there's the practical challenge of, how to introduce an innovation like that in a mature operational environment, like the production compound of a sporting event. It's my enormous honor to be here tonight, standing on the shoulders of and representing the folks that made the critical contributions across all of those 4 key parts. There's lots of graphic gimmicks that come and go in sports. We always see them in a Super Bowl or what have you, and then the next Super Bowl there's something else. But it was my friendship and my ability to cooperate at work with David Hill and Ed Gorin, who are, I think, 2 of the most insightful people in sports and 2 of the most creative people in the production of TV sports. It was through that cooperation that the conviction evolved that to do something very simple, like just show where the first down line is, that would make a huge contribution in football, because the first down is the objective of almost every play. It's impossible to see once the camera zooms in. And we ended up conceiving this scheme to make it easy to see. And for that was a critical contribution of David Hill and Ed Gorin to help us find a problem that was both solvable but also really important to the storytelling of sport. To do systems like these, particularly in broadcast, you need fearless technical people. And the reason they need to be fearless is not only that the problem hasn't been solved before technically, and not only because the fact that there's 0 schedule flexibility, meaning if you agree to do something for the Super Bowl, they're not going to delay the Super Bowl. But the other problem is that these systems, they run live in real time, and if it starts to make a mistake, there's nothing you can do. Meaning it's going to go out on the air and everybody, even your nursery school classmates, are going to see the error. It was Rick Cavallaro and J.R. Glaudemans that made particular key technical contributions to the yellow first down, but also both characterized this absolute fearlessness that was required in a development such as this. On the business side, Bill Squadron, my business partner one of the 3 business partners founding SportVision, he provided the initiative and, frankly, the stubbornness and the commitment necessary to find a way to stick to it and find a way to pay for projects like these. The production environment in a TV compound is a very mature operational environment. These are folks who've been coming up with ways of doing things and have stuck with those ways of doing things for decades. And so to have a bunch of engineers show up in their white lab coats and try to make changes, this isn't going to end well. And so critical to making these systems work was to be able to work with a guy like Jerry Gepner. And Jerry Gepner was a guy who was well known in sports broadcast, was known by everybody in the field production of sports, but Jerry also uniquely in that community was someone who was open-minded and had a developmental engineering attitude. And without Jerry, we could have built all the great technology in the world, but we couldn't have actually gotten it to work in a mature field production broadcast compound. A number of months ago, a journalist asked me what I was most proud of in my life. And I think the journalist expected me to say the yellow line or the vehicle navigation system or I once set a round the world nonstop sailing record. But the question stopped me cold, and I realized that what I'm most proud of in my life is the fact that almost 40 years ago, I was able to collect up a technical team of folks. And I've had the ability to work with those same folks for nearly 4 decades. And two of those guys are here today. And I'd like to communicate to them that that ability to work with these guys, for 4 decades is in fact the thing I'm most proud of in my life. That's Ken Milnes and Marv White. Thank you very much.